So President Biden just did it. He dodged one crisis, but now he's setting up a completely new crisis. I want to address what's going on here, but we do have some good news that the situation regarding an upcoming railroad strike has been squashed. Congress blocks the railroad workers from going on strike as soon as December 9th. And you're probably thinking, is this good news or is this bad news? Well, it's a mix of both. Today, the Senate actually voted on this and they passed this bill which blocks railroad workers from being able to go on strike as soon as December 9th. They voted on this and it passed 80-15. So the good news here is that companies will not be taking this weekend and starting to pull cargo off the rails. They will keep it there because there will be no impending railroad strike. And also good news, if you are a railroad worker, this means you will start to get your 24% raise over the next 5 years. Also, you will get your one extra paid day off as well, which I know railroad workers wanted 7 days. They even were willing to go to 4, but all they got was 1. But this is also where part of the bad news comes. The bad news is we are not done with this crisis. Here's another problem. Many railroad workers have already stated that once they receive their back pay, they are going to quit. They are not going to work for a company that doesn't look after their well-being. All they were asking for was some more paid days off. That's what they wanted, but they didn't get it. So what is this crisis that is coming or that they're setting up? Well, according to a couple railroad executives, they say, and I quote, "The worry is that workers will quit without notice and possibly leave cargo stranded." Yeah, they're worried that railroad workers will simply not go into work. They're worried that they will go to work, start their shift, and then leave cargo stranded wherever. That would be a major problem. And according to Jeremy Ferguson, who's the president of Smart TD, he said when he was asked if workers are going to quit, he said that he has heard many say that they will quit once they get their back pay. And he says that I keep hearing that some are going to do that. It's always a possibility. I hope that doesn't happen. I want every member to stay employed and enjoy all the benefits that we have to do, that we do have, and we are going to need more employees if we're going to have adequate time off. Now, let's touch on that for a second, because when workers get their back pay, which according to reports on average will be $11,000, well, here's the other thing, that they say they will need more employees to so that people have adequate time off. Well, here's the problem. Nobody's going to want to work for a company that they went through 3 years of negotiations, then comes right down to the deadline, and you got to get Congress involved. I know I wouldn't want to work for a company like that. Would you? Let me know down in the comment section below. So where do we go from here? Well, here's what happened in conjunction with this bill that passed through the Senate. There was another piece of legislation that passed yesterday through the House of Representatives, and Nancy Pelosi wanted to include 7 days of paid sick leave. The problem was this agreement failed. This failed 52-43. Remember, Democrats needed 60 votes in order to pass the filibuster. They only got to 52, which meant they were 8 votes short. And the many lawmakers that voted against this, they all said that Congress should not be getting in the middle of a labor negotiation. That's not Congress's job. However, I do want to play this short little clip from President Biden. Look at this and hear what he has to say.
You know, I've been trying to get paid leave, not just for rail workers, for everybody. But that other team, they're called Republicans, they voted against it. They said we couldn't do it. We're one of the few nations in the world that don't have paid leave for our workers. And so what we're doing is we can't afford to have, and by the way, in the meantime, they got a 45% increase in salary, et cetera. There's a lot of good things that happen in that. And in fact, this shuts down over the question of 1 to 5 paid, or 7 or 9, whatever the numbers, and be negotiated, paid leave days. It's going to immediately cost 750,000 jobs and cause a recession.
Now, I want to be very clear on something. If Democrats, and specifically President Biden, didn't have the power to get paid sick leave passed in our current Congress, then when Democrats lose control of the House of Representatives, which they will in January, I don't see any way Democrats are going to be able to include paid sick leave after January. This is their window. They missed it. They failed. They will not get it done over the next 2 years. So for all the people that are asking, are we going to get a mandatory paid sick leave? No, we will not get that, simply because if Congress couldn't pass it when Democrats held the majority in the House, the Senate, and the presidency, there's no way they're going to get Republicans to flip and vote yes for it when they do hold the majority in the House. And I can tell you this because we're already hearing it. Some lawmakers are saying, just wait, be patient, we will get this included. Now, how is this going to happen? Well, here's what I can tell you. One of the ways that Democrats can attempt to get paid sick leave into any legislation is to couple paid sick leave with the Trump tax cuts. Now, these were passed before, they expired, we don't have those now. But if Democrats are serious about getting paid sick leave, they have to drop the other big provision, which is the child tax credit payments. So they have to decide, are children important? Are workers important? Social Security recipients important? Who is the most important? Because that's what it's going to come down to, is can they pass whatever bill they want, whatever priority they have at the time, and put that up against the Trump tax cuts. So we will see what happens in the near future. What I can tell you, though, is it's going to be a big back and forth game whenever it does occur. So that's what we got at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.